What is SQL and how does it work? Jack Cassidy, Hugh Linton Lavery, Roisin Power, Isla Ho, and Ellen Wiggins. SQL is a structured query language that is used to communicate and request information from a database. A database, in turn, is a collection of data. This data is organized in a specific way so that it can be easily accessed and altered by a user. What is a trigger? A trigger is a database object that is attached to a table. It is like a stored procedure, or could be called a special kind of stored procedure. It is a program stored in a database. It occurs when certain events are triggered. It is different to stored procedures, but acts like a function in higher level programming. Triggers work best to implement certain tasks due to the insert, delete, and update functions. The main difference between a trigger and a stored procedure is that a trigger is called automatically, whereas a stored procedure must be called explicitly. Triggers make use of two special tables, called inserted and deleted. Before data is committed to the database, the inserted table contains its reference in an insert. Before data is removed from the database, the deleted table contains it in the underlying table referenced in a delete. Both tables are used in an update. There are both advantages and disadvantages to using triggers. In the advantages side, it allows the logic to be stored in one location instead of it being stored over multiple applications. Over the lifecycle of a program, it continues to maintain the accuracy of the data. It allows for easy editing of said data. However, it can also be quite complex, it can increase runtime, and it also is unable to have full control over the database. Triggers provide an alternate way to run scheduled tasks, i.e., you don't have to wait to run scheduled tasks because triggers happen automatically before or after a change is made to the data in the tables. Triggers cannot replace all validations, as some need to be done in the application layer. Triggers, when they happen, are invisible to the client applications, and therefore when something goes wrong, you cannot decipher what happened in the database. Queries are the most basic operation we use, and are how we search a database for information that we want. The following, insert, etc. on the slide, are the specific clauses we use to get that information. Data manipulation clauses such as insert, into, or delete are essential to SQL tables. It allows us to modify an already existing table or to update information within the table. Fourth generation languages are those considered closer to the human language, like SQL. There are arguments for and against whether SQL is a programming language. It contains similar operations to third generation languages. However, it is debated that a language must be compiled in order to be called a programming language. This is a trait that SQL does not have. Its functionality is also a lot more limited compared to Java or C++. Developers see SQL as an easy syntax for accessing data, but suggest that using SQL for just relational data is blinding them from the power of SQL. However, their overall argument is that data is king and SQL is the best way to access and use data. SQL was developed in the 80s as a procedural extension to SQL and has an independent programming environment. It is also a block-structured language. It has the advantages of both the SQL database manipulation tools and the normal procedural language constructs. Other features include the fact that it supports object-oriented programming and offers a variety of programming structures. This means that the PL SQL programs are divided and written in logical blocks of code. Further advantages of PL SQL include the fact that it can support both dynamic and static SQL, and applications written in SQL are fully portable. Sending a block of statements reduces network traffic. It offers a number of data structures, error checking, and variable types. PL SQL can also implement a high level of security.